Right guys, Dave Genvy here, aka Satan, aka the devil, the Antichrist, Lucifer, God's ultimate bad boy. That's who I am. But yeah, most people just call me Dave. Anyway, I am Satan though. It's hard to believe for a lot of people, especially if you're an atheist, but it was foretold the Antichrist was going to turn up and be on the earth, and he's going to do miraculous inventions. There's a number of things that's foretold in the Bible that's going to happen. Not all of it's correct in the Bible, but most of it is. And here I am. You've had Jesus, now you've got to have the Antichrist, yeah? He was Christ on the Antichrist. So that's how it is. As I keep telling the monkey men, get your money into Wisdomtree CRUD. I tell you every single week. Wisdomtree CRUD, put it on the screen. It links your money to the price of crude oil, which is really important at the minute, because the Windsor family, the British royal family, which run the world, believe it or not, they run the world. All these politicians, a load of bullshit, they just work for the British royal family. They're going to have oil shortages, and the way they're going to explain it away is with wars in the Middle East, and they've got a war with Russia and Ukraine going on at the minute. And they're going to gradually starve the world of oil, well, the world economy of oil, cause massive inflation, food price inflation, and I'm hoping I can avert it all. God in heaven is actually killing the Windsors off. We're going to have a look at Meghan Markle in a minute. But yeah, you need to put your money in Wisdomtree CRUD. Now here's a question from the monkey men. Some of them might have their money in, well, hopefully you have got your money in Wisdomtree CRUD, right? You've listened to me. You've linked your money to the price of crude oil. That's all it does. It just takes your money, your monopoly money that's printed by the bank, whether it's the US dollar, UK pound, whatever currency it is, takes that money and links it to the price of crude oil, what crude oil is on the US dollar, right? That's all it does. But a lot of the monkey men might say to me now, they might say, well, shall I put some money in oil stocks? Shall I buy some shares of an oil company like BP, Shell, ExxonMobil, that's a big American one, Chevron, that's another big American one. There's big Chinese ones, PetroChina, Sinopec, that's another big Chinese one. The monkey men are going to say, well, shall I buy shares in oil stocks? Absolutely no, you shouldn't. The reason is because the oil stocks are going to be a trap, a financial trap. You need to link your money to the price of the actual natural resource. An oil stock, they can just have the company go bust. And they can just change, the company can rebrand, the company could go bust, right? And they could just rename the company, you know, say like BP, that's a big British oil company, go bust. They just call it the new BP, they just relaunch it. But you've lost all your money, because you had shares in the old BP. Do you get what I mean? They're just a trap. Oil stocks, oil shares in oil companies. Don't do it, monkey men. It'll be very tempting, because they're going up at the minute. When oil prices go up, the shares of oil companies go up and their earnings go up, but it will only go up for a certain length of time. Once the price of oil gets too high, then the whole economy is affected, the whole global economy is affected, and then there's not as much demand for oil for these companies. So say the price of oil, a barrel of oil goes from being, whatever it is in the minute, like say it's $70 a barrel at the minute, it goes, let's say it goes to $1,000 a barrel, because there's oil shortages, $1,000 a barrel. That then means like a company like BP, Shell, ExxonMobil, companies like that, they're going to have difficulty selling their oil because it's so fucking expensive. So what the reptilian, it's just a trap. the Lizard King, the Windsor family, they're going to have those oil shares then begin to collapse. It'll be the stock market goes first. The oil companies will go up for a bit and then they'll go down as well. You need to be in Wisdomtree CRUD. I mean, that's where all my money is. My money's in Wisdomtree CRUD and Wisdomtree BRNT. But you're not allowed to put money in that anymore. You can only put your money in Wisdomtree CRUD. I think they created another one as well. But if your money's in Wisdomtree CRUD, you're fine. I can pull my money out of Wisdomtree BRNT, but I can't put more money in. They stopped putting me money. I hadn't actually tried to put any money in for a long time, but when I last tried, it wasn't allowed. I could only put it into Wisdomtree CRUD. It was the Lizard King at the time, King Charles, messing the fuck around. He was messing about. But you need to know these things, because if your money's not linked to the price of crude oil goes through the roof, then you're in serious shit then. Because oil is your economy. It runs your whole economy. You need to get free energy on the go. So important now that humanity, both reptile and monkey, two species of humans, you transition over to free energy. I've talked about it on this channel. I've done experiments. I did one experiment that showed you free energy. It's upstairs. I've got it upstairs. Perpetual turbine. That's one way of making free energy. And there's another way, ring of power. Just linking two step-up transformers together in a circuit. It's really simple. Free energy is really simple. So it's not a hard thing to do for humanity at all. You don't need these big nuclear fusion reactors and stuff like that. You've had free energy for a long time, but your alien overlords, the Greys, who are working for some other aliens called the Nordics, they weren't allowing free energy to be public. They've been ruling over you. So you say like the lizard bitch king, the Windsor family, I call them the bitch king, they're your rulers. Well, yeah, but then they're ruled over by their alien overlords. So, do you know what I mean? They're sort of rulers, but not proper rulers. A proper ruler doesn't have a boss. He is the boss. That's how it works with a proper ruler. So yeah, avoid the oil stocks. Avoid putting money in oil shares. It's not where you want to be. You want to be in Wisdomtree CRUD. That's where I am. And I'm in Wisdomtree BRNT as well, like I said. That just links my money to the price of Brent, crude oil. But WTI and Brent, it's just oil, yeah. So it doesn't matter which one you're in. They're two different prices for oil, but they're both super important to the world economy. So the monkey men, I'd be telling you to put your money in Wisdomtree BRNT as well, if you could put your money into it. If you could put your money into BRNT, I'd be saying put your money into Wisdomtree CRUD and Wisdomtree BRNT. You know, have 50% in each. But I can't do that anymore because they stopped allowing you to put money into it. But they've got to allow you to link your money to something in crude oil, because say a reptilian goes out and earns a load of money somehow. He's got a load of money. That reptilian will know, I need to put this money now into Wisdomtree CRUD. They have to have somewhere to put their money. Because otherwise, that would mean the Lizard King is, he's screwing over his own species then, his own people. So they have to have somewhere to put their money. Do you get what I mean? Hopefully you do, monkey men. I'll show you now Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle's dead, pretty sure. You've seen in the news how, you might have seen if you've been following the Windsors, if you've been following Prince Harry, he's doing solo trips at the minute. He's doing a lot of solo trips. If you go on the news, you'll see it. Harry's kind of not being seen much with Meghan. Well, the reason is she's been very ill and she's died. This is them in 2023. So look at the date there, September 23, 2023. They're at the Kevin Costner's music concert thing he does. I think he does it every year. It's for charity. Kevin Costner is into music. And Harry and Meghan were there in 2023. If you actually look at her face, I think she's looking a little bit skinny. If you go look at this picture, he looks okay, he looks fine. But she's looking a little bit underweight. Harry went to the same event. Kevin Costner holds it every year. He went to the same event this year, 2024, but sick Meghan Markle fails to show up for the Kevin Costner thing. I talked about it last week, I think, or the week before. But yeah, she was there in 2023, but she was looking a bit skinny. If you compare her to pictures, this is a picture of her in 2022. This is her in 2022. See, it says 2022 there. This is just, I'll just put Meghan on Google, I put Meghan 2022. See how her face looks more full, her cheeks look more full. Whereas back in 2023, a year ago, they're looking a bit, she's looking just skinny, she's looking underweight. So yeah, so the Kevin Costner music concert, she was there in 2023. Kevin Costner does it every year. They attend, Harry and Meghan, they attended in 2023. She's looking a bit, if you look at that picture, to search, are you just putting Kevin Costner, Meghan Markle 2023? Just put that onto Google, you'll find that article. There it is. Just search that. Something like that. 2023. You want the 2023 one, you'll see how underweight she's looking. And then she didn't attend this year's one. Sick Meghan fails to attend. Prince Harry was there. Now Prince Harry, I think, this year, just gone. We're only on 6th of October, 2024. I think Harry's looking a bit pale. If you actually look at him, he's looking a bit pale compared to how he looked there. And she was looking underweight. And like I say, when she was back in 22, she looked a lot better. If you go back to 2022, her face just looks fuller. You know, the cheeks looked fuller. Because that's what cancer does to you. You lose weight, you get skinnier. You lose weight. So she was ill back in 2023. It's because God in heaven is killing them with the mind powers. Because I'm supposed to be, I'm God's other son, and I'm supposed to be working with humanity now to try and get you moving in the right direction, get you going out into space. That's the whole thing with the Antichrist. That's what he's here to do. Star of David, get you going into the stars. But they're trying to get in the way of it. So God in heaven, killing them off. So now Harry is doing these solo trips. But I don't know if these solo trips, I think these solo trips he's doing at the minute were filmed some time ago. I think that the last appearance I've seen of him in the news that I think has been filmed very recently was the Kevin Costner music show, charity music show 2024, September 2024. I think that was his last recent public appearance. And these solo trips he's doing, I think he's just with his kids in California. And these solo trips were all filmed a while ago. And I think Meghan's long dead, because you saw how underweight she's looking there back in 2023, September 2023. It's because women, you say, why are the women being killed off first? In terms of Kate got ill, didn't she? She got very ill. It's got it in the news now. She's back at full health or something. But it's just, you just mostly just got still pictures of her, really. Where's her? She's had chemotherapy. She's got all her hair. Just had chemotherapy. Everyone else has chemotherapy. Your hair falls out. So it's just all bullshit, really. Well, the reason women succumb, they succumb first to psychic powers. It's the same. Imagine if you were having a fight with a man, and then imagine you had to have a fight with a woman, and you had to have a fight with a man, a physical fight with a woman or a man. It's going to be a lot easier fighting the woman. They're not that good at fighting, women. Women are good at giving birth to kids. That's their skill, that men can't do. When it comes to warring, when it comes to fighting, women are pretty useless at it. So they succumb to psychic powers quicker. Their bodies just succumb to it quicker. It's just how it is. Because they're just not as tough and good at fighting. Harry, of all the Windsors, Harry probably was the strongest one in terms of fighting. He's probably the toughest one out of them. He's probably a bit tougher than William. Possibly. I think so. And so he's lasting the longest, I think. Although Charles lasted a while. But I think he's gone now, King Charles. I think they're all gone apart from Harry. Of them 6, you got King Charles, you got Camilla, Queen Camilla, you got William, Prince William, Kate, Meghan. I think all them 5 are gone in terms of dead. And I think you've just got Harry left. Last man standing. He didn't look too... I mean, he looks a bit under the weather at the Kevin Costner show just recently, just this year, September this year. But he didn't look that bad to me. So I think he's got a fair while left. And after he's gone, then it's a regent working with Prince George, because he's only 11. So it's a ridiculous situation. The Windsors... I'm really annoyed about it. I know God's pissed off. God in heaven's pissed off. Because they're just making it difficult. Humanity needs to be liberated. Well, you already have been liberated from your alien overlords, because I've just said they're no good at fighting. They need you as much as you need them. So you have to work together. So I've liberated you from that. They didn't really know what else to do, the aliens. Because they need soldiers. They're shit. They make terrible soldiers. They're great scientists. Great, at thinking. But on a battlefield, they're useless. You need good soldiers to take a new Earth. So... it's a ridiculous situation from the Windsors. They're just trying to cling on to power, and then they know after they die they're going down to hell to get tortured real bad. Well, the guys I've got working for me down there, God in heaven's the boss of it all. I'm kind of like the devil is kind of like God's manager of hell. Do you know what I mean? I manage hell for God in heaven. So that's what's going to happen. So yeah, so like I say, as a monkey man, just put your money in Wisdomtree, CRUD. It's all you can do. All you can do at the minute is that. And you can see in the news, I mean, if you go on Google News, I'm just on Google News here. I've just clicked Google News. You can see all this stuff going on in the Middle East. Israel, Lebanon. Who knows what oil prices are going to do? I mean, Harry might take oil prices back down again. He might suddenly have all that calmed down, but I think this is it now. I think this is it. I think oil prices are mostly going to be going upwards. I think this situation in the Middle East, I think that's what the story's going to be. It's just going to escalate, because you've got Iran Then if you've seen, you've got Iran getting involved. They're an oil producing nation. I don't know how close Iran is in terms of how well they get on with Iraq, because they're neighbours. I mean, you know, this whole Middle East situation I think is going to escalate, but it's been planned for a long time. This Great Reset has been planned for a long, long time. I mean, and obviously I want a U-turn out of it. I'm saying we don't need that. So, yeah, you just need to protect yourself, put your money in Wisdomtree, CRUD, okay? And don't get tempted into the oil stocks and buying oil shares in oil companies, okay? Right, I'll talk about something else now. Now we're going to talk about something the monkey men might be intrigued by. How does the reptilian camouflage work? Like, they're green, scaly lizards, they're reptilian shapeshifters, but how does their camo work? And it is incredible, really, how it works, because they're green, scaly lizards. But it all has to do, I think I've got this right, with melanin. See that? Melanin. Melanin is what gives your skin its colour, its pigmentation. It's pigmentation what gives it its colour. So, and depending on how dark you are, say if you're a black dude, right, with black skin, you have more melanin in your skin. If you have darker skin, you've got more melanin. A white guy like me has less. And the way it is with the reptilians is their cells, their skin cells, it's bizarre how it works. It almost like injects melanin to cover their green cells, their green scales. So like, I'm going to show you a video that you need to watch. There's a video here. How do chameleons change colour? It's on YouTube. This is YouTube. So just put search bar, how do chameleons change colour? The channel is Veritaseum. Veritaseum. Sorry. How do chameleons change colour? Now, that's a great video to watch, because if you are interested in this, because reptilians are the animal I compare them to the most is the chameleon. They kind of like to think of themselves as snakes, but they're not like snakes really, because a snake is a reptile, but a snake doesn't have legs or arms, whereas a chameleon does. And a chameleon almost has, its feet almost look like hands. So the reptilians, in my view, in my personal opinion, much more like a chameleon. And chameleons change colour. They have bodies that change colour, and that's actually how they communicate with other chameleons. I thought it was for camouflage, for chameleons' camouflage, but I think it's mostly used for communication with other chameleons, to communicate what they're thinking. And I talked about how a chameleon's camouflage is not as complex as the reptilians, but I think I might actually be wrong on that, because a chameleon can change. Its normal resting colour is green. It's plain green. But say when you've got a situation where it's very agitated, like when you've got two male chameleons fighting each other, they go very vibrant colours. They can change into lots of different colours that are really quite spectacular. Whereas a reptilian it's kind of either green or it's got its monkey man camouflage. So, because that's all they need. I mean, they don't need to go lots of different colours like a chameleon, because a chameleon's using the different colours to communicate. A reptilian, just like a monkey man, can use words, use, you know, language, use the English language to speak to each other. So they don't need, you know, these, you know, mad colours to communicate like a chameleon does. So it might actually be that chameleons' colour changing is actually a bit more complex than a reptilian's. I think a reptilian's colour changing is a bit more simple. This video explains it here in this bit. This bit of this video, I mean, watch the whole video if you're interested as a monkey man. It's only 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes long. How do chameleons change colour? But the bit that I think applies to reptilians starts at 0.56 seconds in. So start there, and it talks about melanin. So I'll play it.
Including chameleons, are known to turn a darker shade by causing the melanin to spread out along the fingery extensions of the cell.
See that? So let's play it again. Go to 5.6 again. 1056. So it's talking about how the melanin comes out. This is what happens in chameleons, and spiders out along the front of the cell, skin cell. Play it again.
Chameleons are known to turn a dark...
See this here? This is melanin spidering out over the front of the skin cell to change the colour of the chameleon.
...shade by causing the melanin to spread out...
See, this is the melanin, this black stuff.
...out along the fingery extensions of the cell.
That's what happens. So imagine the cells are like green, right? And this stuff, melanin, is like spiders out across the front of it. But it can contract as well,
condensing the pigment back into one spot.
So it can expand and contract. Yeah?
They turn lighter.
I think that part of a chameleon's skin is, I think, how reptilian's skin works. There's more to that video. I mean, if you want to watch the whole video, chameleons have these like crystals as well in their skin that allow them to change different, lots of different colours. Like I say, when they're agitated, like when you've got two males fighting each other. That's apparently when you get the most spectacular display of a chameleon's colours. Because I suppose that's a high state of agitation. Like I've said with reptilians, when they're really agitated, their disguise can begin to slip a little bit. Which, you know, makes sense, but kind of like the chameleon goes, the colours go all a bit crazy when they're agitated. So I think that's what's happening. The melanin is almost being injected out and expanding over their skin cells to hide the green and make them look like monkey men when they're not. And then, but it can also contract. It can contract in and reveal their reptilian, you know, they're actually a reptile man, reptilian. I mean, what's supposed to happen? This is right, isn't it? What's supposed to happen according to God is I'm supposed to make hybrids with reptilians and monkey women that can interbreed with both. You become a hybrid species then. So you go from being two species to sort of interlinked. Over time, over a long period of time. But like I say, the Windsors, the people who run the world, the British royal family, don't want to work with me. So I've proven enough times reptilians are real. I'm not going to have any reptile footage this week because I haven't come across any. I had some on last week. One of the Backstreet Boys I had on. He had a big reptile ridge at the front of his head. So You know, if ever I come across any, I'll show it you. But I've done loads of reptile footage. I've proven very clearly reptilians are real monkey men. So that's something I hope you've come to terms with. But you don't need to see them as the enemy. You got to work with them. You know, work together. There's no point. You're getting a lot of shit with God. If you go killing a reptilian just because he's a reptilian, he's done nothing else other than be born a reptilian. If you go killing him just for that, you're getting shit with God in heaven. And trust me, you don't want to, because it's not nice. So you got to remember that. You got to work together. But yeah, I think that's how their skin works. And like I say, that video teach about chameleons, but that little section from 056 through
Animals,
to...
including chameleons, are known to turn a darker shade by causing the melanin to spread out along the fingery extensions of the cell. They turn light...
So 104, say. You just watch the video in it, that'll explain it. But that bit in particular I think is important. So that's what's happening with these reptilians. So that hopefully explains a bit more to you how their camouflage works. Here's an idea I had. I'm very much a conservationist, so I care about the environment. Because the earth, it's very important to look after it because it's where you live. You know what I mean? You want to look after the health of the ecosystems and all that. So I'm very much conservationist. Now the Romans used to chop down trees to crucify people. They'd use the wood to crucify someone on a cross. I was thinking, because we've got a problem with chopping down too many trees at the minute, whenever you chop a tree down, you need to be planting a new one. Planting new trees. The logging company come through, chop the trees, then a company come behind them, planting more. And try not to chop all the trees, try to thin it out a bit. You know what I mean? Leave some standing. Trees are very important. They filter the air. So I was thinking what we could do, rather than, because we probably have to do quite a few crucifixions. Once I come to power, there's a good few people are going to have to get crucified. But I was thinking, instead of chopping trees down to crucify people, because that's something I don't want to do unless you have to, why not nail them up, bolt them up to living trees? So don't chop the tree down, just bolt them to the living tree and just leave them there to die. You know, then take them down once they're dead. But the tree's still standing. The tree's got a couple of holes in it from the bolts, but the tree's still alive and hopefully will survive. You know, I think tree surgeons and people like that who know a lot about trees, they'll be able to plug the holes with some special stuff so the tree doesn't get infected. You know, they'll be able to do stuff like that because trees take a long time to grow. So before you chop one down, because they're your air purifiers, they make the air nice for you to breathe in the atmosphere. Before you chop one down, you need to think, do we really need to chop down this tree? You know, you don't want to chop them down willy-nilly. I want to put a lot of farmland in the deserts of North Africa and other deserts around the world and use free energy and anti-gravity to make that possible. And turn a lot of farmland back to forest. That's important to do. There's a lot of people who are very selfish who think, well, that's going to affect me as a farmer. Well, not necessarily, because you'll be able to teleport to North Africa. You'll have a teleporter to teleport to North Africa to do farming if you still want to do farming. So, you know, it won't necessarily affect you that much. Be able to put teleporters on the surface of the earth. So if you want to teleport from somewhere like Paris to New York, you'll be able to do it. Rather than fly there, just teleport there. Should be able to do that. So a lot of farmers, you know, they'll lose their fields, say in the UK. The UK used to be all woodland, forest. Then it all got chopped down to make way for farmland. You obviously have to eat. I understand that. So does God in heaven. You've got to eat. But you got all these deserts with loads of sun. That's where the farmland needs to be. You need to grow back the trees. So it was an idea I had. Rather than chop the trees down to make crosses like the Romans did, why not just nail the person to the living tree? So I think that's a pretty good idea. You're going to have to crucify some people, because there's people in your society who've, you know, done terrible things like murdered children and stuff like that, and they're just sat in prison, just getting in the way. Just crucify them and send them down to hell, because that's where they're going. After they die, they're going to go to hell. Might as well send them there a bit quicker. You know what I mean? You got some guy who's maybe killed, you know, little children for no reason, otherwise he's just a piece of shit. Right, that dude needs to be nailed to a fucking tree. He needs to be whipped up first, front and fucking back. But not so much that he bleeds out. You don't want him to bleed out, because if you whip him too much, they'll bleed to death. And then you fucking nail that cunt to a living tree, rather than chopping the tree down. That's my idea. I think it's a pretty good one, so there you go. Something I talked about last week was how I've got a dehumidifier in my house, running pretty much constantly. I run it all the time now, because it's autumn outside, it's getting cold, it's getting wet in the UK, the summer's over, and you need a dehumidifier because all the windows are closed to keep the damp down in the house, right? I talked about this last week. So that's running constantly, and I empty it a couple of times a day. It fills up with water, and I empty out the water. Now I've got a situation at my house at the minute where the boiler is basically, well, it's an old boiler. It's a boiler I think it's about 24, 25 years old. I think it might be 24 years old. And it's just on the verge of going kaput. And I keep having to have a plumber, you know, come out and fix it. And really what it needs is a boiler change. What I really need is a new boiler. But the problem is, a new boiler is very expensive. A new boiler, you know, you're looking at around £2,000, maybe more. Maybe get a bit cheaper if you get, you know the plumber really well. Who knows? But it's probably going to be around £2,000. Maybe it's going to be £3,000. I've heard prices up to £4,500. I've got a combi boiler, so it's gas and electric. And yeah, I've heard prices of up to £4,500. That sounds way too much, but whatever. So I don't want to spend that money, because I'm supposed to go to America. I'm supposed to be like meeting Ariana Rockefeller, marrying Ariana Rockefeller, and becoming part of the American royal family. The Rockefellers are the American royals, and you know, running the world. So I'm not supposed to be here for that much longer. So I don't really want to spend the money on getting a new boiler. At the minute, you know, I'd rather just not spend the money. So I thought of a solution. What can I do to heat the home during the winter? I've got the dehumidifier, and that does the bulk of the work. I haven't actually got any heating on at the minute other than the dehumidifier. Most of the time in the UK, that's all you need, a dehumidifier to heat the house. Believe it or not, it'll keep the house warm and dry. But when it really starts getting cold, when the temperature really starts dropping, I've got to keep it warm. An electric fan heater. It's an electric fan heater. It's actually a greenhouse heater. So it's a greenhouse heater. And it's importantly, it's got a thermostat on it. So an electric fan heater. It's an electric fan heater with a thermostat. And it only costs about 20 quid. You can get those off Amazon. Electric fan heater with thermostat. For about 20 quid. Very cheap. A lot cheaper than getting a new boiler. And you could have more than one in your house. You could have one upstairs. I mean, I just have one. But say, if I had people living here with me, I live on my own. If I have people living here with me, I'd probably have one upstairs. It's not on at the minute. Like I say, it's not cold enough. I've only got the dehumidifier running. That's keeping me warm. But yeah, that will heat your house very cheap, right? Now for hot water, so what about hot water, Dave, for washing up? Or for having a bath? Well, in that situation, you've got your electric shower. I've got an electric shower upstairs. I'll show it you. And this will create the hot water you need. So electric shower, I've got it. I've got the shower head. I've unscrewed the shower head off. That'll make you all the hot water you need. We fill up the bath with it. I've had baths. I had a bath last night, and it was the shower that filled up the bath. It's handy. It is handy if you've got your electric shower. Actually, you know, it's in my bath. You know what I mean? It's in my bath. So that's handy. So it can easily just fill up the bath for me. And then if I need hot water for washing up, I just get a bucket. I've got a builder's bucket. You get them really cheap. So I get a builder's bucket. And all I do, I just fill that up with hot water from the shower. And then I pour it into the sink with some obviously washing up liquid. And that's it. So that's preferable for me. That's preferable over spending £2,000 on getting a new boiler fitted. Now it might be the case for you. You just think, well, I've got loads of money, Dave, so I'll just get a new boiler. Fair enough, but there's a lot of people who haven't got loads of money who might be thinking, oh God, my boiler's just packed in. You know, winter's coming. Temperature's going to be getting colder. I've got to buy a new boiler, and they haven't got the money. All I'm trying to do is give you a cheaper alternative that I'm using that's helping me save money. With the electric fan heater, if you've got it on the thermostat, it will turn itself on and off automatically to keep the temperature up in the room. If you put an electric fan heater on in a room, because it's got a fan, it will heat the room up very quick. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed how quickly one of them will heat up a room, because it's blowing all the hot air all around the room, because it's got that fan. Heats up really fast. And like I say, very cheap to buy. I've had that one for ages. But that's what I'm having to do at the minute. And obviously once you get free energy, once you've got free energy made by perpetual turbine or ring of power, the cost of heating your home it's just going to be next to nothing. But yeah, the dehumidifier cost me 100 quid. That cost me 20 quid, that thing. Also, I already had the shower installed. I mean, that shower, I think, when I moved here, I had to get a new shower fitted, and I think it cost 180 quid with installation by a plumber. So, you know, that wasn't too expensive compared to the price of a new boiler. Now, I'm going to show you something else as well that you can possibly use. I'm not going to bother, but something else you can use to make hot water. So I'm going to show you. You can wanted to, you wanted to save money and not get a boiler, you could get one of these. It's electric water heater. I'm just on Amazon. I'm on Amazon, by the way. It's 130 quid. It's just electric water heater, and you've got an in pipe, cold water. You see on this picture, you've got a cold water in pipe, and it turns the cold water into hot water. It just does the exact same thing that your electric shower does. The exact same thing, basically. And you can maybe install that under a sink. So, you know, if I was staying here, that might be an option I might want to consider, rather than using a builder's bucket to go get hot water from the shower to go do my washing up downstairs. Rather than using that builder's bucket, I could just install one of these under my sink in my kitchen, and then that would make the hot water that I need. I'm not going to do that. I'll just use the builder's bucket. I'll just keep it simple, because I don't want to spend the 130 quid. If I'll just keep it simple, I will. But I'm just giving the people options on how to save on your heating bill, because that boiler installation, that's a lot of money, you know what I mean? There'll be a lot of people at this time of year that are looking at their boiler thinking, oh man, we need a new boiler. I'm trying to give you an alternative. If you're some rich dude, then you don't care, you just get the plumber in and he'll put you a new boiler and you don't give a shit, but not everyone is. You know what I mean? I'm not going to help. It's not helping the plumbing industry, this, you know, because plumbers love doing a boiler change because it's very profitable for them. It's a good job for them to do in terms of making money. But I've got to help the majority. I'm working for God, so I've got to help the majority of people, not just a small number of plumbers. So I'm just giving you an idea anyway of what you can do as an alternative in terms of your heating. So hopefully that helps some people out there. Oh, and here's another little bonus tip you might not have thought of. A lot of people like having a bath. It's really relaxing. They get out of the bath and they're not that clean because they've been lying in their dirty bath water. What I do is I have a bath. I have showers obviously as well. I shower every night, but if I have a bath, what I do is after I've pulled the plug on the bath, let the water go down a bit, just sit there in the bath. I then turn on the electric shower, and I just rinse myself off with that, wash my hair and soak myself up. That's when I soak myself up. After I've had the bath, I then have a shower straight away after, and that just rinses all that dirt that you're on. So you come out cleaner then, out of the bath. It's a better way of doing it, I think. So that's a bonus tip for you, you might want to use. Right guys, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.